Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to say, Call Halal Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahawashi, Ba'ashim Racha HaKodash, and double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who taught us this truth and rule well. And shalom to the hopeful elect, Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahawashi, Ba'ashim Racha HaKodash, Barakatam. It's the brother Kazak from Minival 12 West Coast, coming back at it again with another lesson. And the title of this lesson is going to be, The Fall is Coming. All right, and what you see here is a picture I took, on a gas station, which is Chevron. They have more, a higher end gas, if you will. You know what I'm saying? But you see the prices, man. This is not, good. Before the prices were, for 91, you'd pay, $5.2 a gallon. And then you had the middle one. It was a easy, 50 something, for per gallon. And then you had the regular, which is 87. All right, and that was less than $5. It was like $4.80, $4.90, per gallon. All right, but now these prices are rising up, and I took these pictures yesterday, before I went in, did a little shift on the DoorDash. All right, and I asked the clerk, how the prices, are they gonna go up? Are they gonna go down? Just measuring the time, if you will, and she told me that them prices is gonna keep on going up, at least by another 10 cents, but. We know she don't really know, what is going on, man. I believe through the spirit that them prices is gonna keep on skyrocketing, man. All right, especially with that situation, Russia and the Ukraine. They saying that that's a big factor in why the prices are going up. But this goes to show you that this place doesn't have a lot of time. All right, that inflation is one of the key signs of the beginnings of an economic collapse. Okay, in this case, it's going to be Babylon. All right, so Yahweh Shai is finally hitting this place, with his wrath. Okay, Yahweh Shai is beginning to hit this place with his wrath. And it's going to get hard out here, man. All right, and it's not just the gasoline. You still have that supply chain crisis. It didn't go nowhere. All right, you got the truck drivers. They're protesting because they're not being paid enough. All right, hey, man. This place is about to, it's about to fall, man. All right. And that's where this double's going to implement, the MOTB. All right. Implement that new, one world currency. Okay. And guess what? It's going to be our temptation. But guess what? We're going to be saved out of that. All right. Don't mind that. I just got to do another dash in 30 minutes, man. It's, brothers out there, you don't already know, recommend DoorDash is a good, source of income. You don't have to be in a factory or none of that. Warehouse, none of that, man. You know what I'm saying? But hey, to each his own, man. But yeah, man. All right, this is what's what's gonna happen. All right, this is what's gonna happen. It's all through the scriptures, man. It's all prophecy. Okay, so with that, I'm gonna go to the book of I'm gonna open up with the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12. All right, and it reads, "Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them." Okay, and the reason why is because you got to come into this truth early, man. You can't put off Yahweh Shem Yahawashi. You can't vibe with this truth. You know what I'm saying? And then say, oh well, let me put this off and focus on this, focus on my business, focus on my entrepreneur, my enterprise. Entrepreneur is a person, enterprise is what they do. Focus on this bread, my career, whatever, man. And then when I'm stable, I'm a turn to the Lord and you know what I'm saying, do that. But you can't do that, man. When you turn to Yahweh Shem Yahawashi, when you hear this word, you got to turn to Yahweh Shem Yahawashi with haste, because what the prophets are doing, all right, starting with the elders and apostles of Great Millstone on down, is they're blowing a trumpet, man. All right, they're blowing a trumpet just like a watchman does, in the watchtower, warning you of the evil that is coming. All right, so it's not wise to ignore the watchman and say, hey, hold on, let me finish gathering up all my crops, all my crops. Let me finish doing this, right? And then I'm gonna go into the city. Then I'm gonna go into the fort, the castle, whatever protection that there is. Right, flee to the mountains. You know what I'm saying? No, man, you got to take heed. Okay, and that's why these people, that's out here, that the scripture says, they honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. they're gonna be caught up in a bad predicament, man, because they didn't make haste to turn to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Okay, and it's not to switch up the topic. It's all through the Spirit. The Spirit is like the wind. All right, but now we're seeing the beginnings of sorrows. All right, we're seeing the beginning, of when the heat is gonna be really, really, really turned up, man. We've been seeing it, throughout the world. You had the situation in Venezuela, right? Places like that where people are literally, digging out of the garbage cans, dumpsters, right? And then that transition into millions of people just leaving the country, going to, neighboring South American countries, and yeah, situations like that, all over the world, man. All over the world, because this devil is sowing his wickedness. Like the scripture said, he spread like the green bay tree. All over the world, just putting out his wickedness, man. Destabilizing countries, things of that nature. But Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is destabilizing Babylon now. Okay, so really the joke is flipped on him. All right, and the same thing that these other countries go for, which are really test trials by the elites. All right, and guess what? Now it's going to be hit on Babylon, and these Babylonians, these so-called Americans, all right, they're going to feel that. Okay, especially you Jakes, man. All right, because the doors were open for you. All right, so verse 2, while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. You see, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, when the strong men shall bow themselves and the grinders cease because they are few. All right, and that's going into how productivity is not going to be up no more. Okay, and what's that going to lead to? Empty shelves on the store, right? You got the truck drivers. They're not distributing the food, the essentials that you need, to survive day to day. So guess what? That's going to lead to empty shelves. It's going to lead to people, going into their neighbors, right? It's not going to be good, man. Okay, it's not going to be good for these people. And those that look out of the windows be darkened, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is slow, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. All right, I'm going to read this again. And the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low. All right, because people are going to get desperate. Okay, people are going to be, going into each other's houses, pillaging supplies, food, whatever, man. As the scripture says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, right? And it reads, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. Okay, meaning ain't gonna be no more mirth, man. All that partying, all that folly, it's gonna be none of that, man. Which all that is really, not wicked. It's not wicked, to throw a party, get together. You know what I'm saying? It's not wicked to, listen to music, whatever. But what you see in the world, all right, it leads to wickedness because these people don't do it in righteousness, man. All right, 9 times out of 10, people go out there, they commit adultery. All right, they just do a lot of wickedness, man. Covetousness. It's a lot of demons that be in them houses of mirth, man. Verse 5. Also, when they shall be afraid of that which is high, and the fear shall be in the way, and the almond tree shall flourish, and the grasshopper shall be a burden, and the desire shall fail, because a man goeth to his long home, and the mourners go about the streets. Okay, so it's gonna be a lot of mourning out here. All right, but that was basically it on that part. When I hit the apocrypha, you know what I'm saying, and get a precept, which, by the way, that article, is just looking up the situation with Russia and Ukraine. Hey, that ceasefire that they were talking about yesterday, man, it failed. So they're going back at it to war. Okay, so let's go with the scripture. Storehouses, empty, KJV. All right, that's the book of 2nd Ezra 6, verse 22. I'm going to go to it. All right, so the book of 2nd Ezra Chapter 6, verse 18. All right, I'm going to start at verse 18. The key point is at verse 22. All right, but verse 18, and it says, and it said, Behold, the days come nigh. Salakia, behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh and to visit them that dwell upon the earth. All right. And that's Yahweh Shem Yahushai coming to visit them that dwell upon the world, meaning he's going to bring a lot of judgment. A lot of people's going to die. All right. By the plagues that's written of in Ecclesiastes Chapter 15, where it reads, let me go to it real quick. Just hit it with a quick jab. Right. So it says, 2nd Ezra 15:5, behold, said the Yahweh Shem Yahushai, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. This is how Yahweh Shem Yahushai is going to visit the earth. Okay, so back to verse 18. All right, which really verse 19. All right, just finished up verse 18, and it reads, and will begin to make inquisition of them, what they be that have hurt unjustly with their righteousness, with their unrighteousness, and when the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled. Okay, because ultimately, man, we're still yet this day in our captivity. All right, so this is going into Lamentations chapter 4 in the latter verses where Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to do away with our captivity, but you got to understand it's going to be a bumpy road because it's going to be a lot of judgment. The world is exceedingly evil. And ultimately, Yahweh Shem Yahushua has it set up like that to make his power known. All right, that the nations that forgot about him, which really the whole world that forgot about him, excluding the elect, because we coming back into this knowledge, all right, that they may know who the living power is. Okay, verse 20, and when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, then will I show these tokens, and the book shall be opened before the firmaments, and they shall see all together. All right, so that's going into the prophecies being fulfilled, man. All right, verse 21, and the children of a year old shall speak with their voices, the women with child shall bring forth untimely children of 3 or 4 months old, and they shall live and be raised up. All right, because ultimately that's them being preserved for the judgment. Okay, and that's what you're having. You're having a lot of premature babies, prematurely birthed babies, man. And the reason why is because Yahweh Shem Yahushua is keeping their spirits in there, all right, so they can face that judgment. This is the time of judgment. Okay, verse 22, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, and the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. All right. And it's funny how it was off a sudden. Okay. Because I've been doing this DoorDash thing this whole week. It was literally day and night. Day and night. The prices just came up, substantially, by 30 cents. And it's only going to go forth even more because of that Ukraine situation. All right. Russia, Ukraine. Because guess what? The U.S. is now deploying troops over there. All right. In order to wage a war, all right, or fund that, what they're doing over there, that requires money. All right, they have to, arm the troops. They have to give them resources, the food, right? They have to maintain them, whatever ammunition they use, they have to replace. It goes into the logistics of things, all right? The distribution of things, and that requires resources, that requires money, okay? And guess what? That's ultimately gonna cause, the inflation, that's gonna make the prices go up on everything. All right, get ready for that fall, man. All right, verse 23, and the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. Okay, but yeah, man, that's going, it on that part. This is what's coming upon Babylon. All right, so with that, we're gonna go to just close out. The book of Revelations, chapter 18, verse 2. All right, and it reads, and he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. All right, and that's going into the fall of this kingdom. All right, of this devil's empire. Okay, which is going to happen, it's going to be concluded, all right, with them ICBM missiles hitting this place. Okay, that's how it's going to, finish. But before that, it's going to be, funneling down the drain, if you will. It's going It's going to be, going through them plagues, that economic collapse, civil unrest, civil wars, martial law, FEMA camps. All these things are gonna happen and take place in Babylon, man. All right, verse 3: For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Okay, so you see that these are that this place has, it got to where it's at because this is the number one consumer. All right, all these places, that's been importing into Babylon. All right, have gotten rich. Okay, and guess what? All nations drinking of the wrath, it's like the wine of the wrath of her fornication. That's going into the culture, man. All these nations is now, following after their this place's philosophies. Okay, and it's nothing but wickedness, man. They condone, a sodomy, right? They condone the disorderly, unnatural order of women being order over men, right? They go off, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's just to name a few. All right, that's just to name a few. So really, the world is meek for judgment, man. And it's happening, and it's gonna unfold. Verse 4: And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, that ye receive not her plagues. You see, that's coming into this truth. All right, and key point: my people. Who are the people of Yahweh Shem Shai, the children of Israel, so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans. All right, and you have the Israelite foreigners that's gonna cleave onto this truth. They're gonna believe, right? That's not gonna look like us, not necessarily us, but it's not gonna look like blacks, Latinos, or Native Americans. It's gonna look like these other nations. All right, they're gonna. Hey, man, Israel's coming back into this thing. All right, but not all Israel, the elect. Verse 5: For her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh hath remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double. All right, and that's going into the destruction of our people. Okay, because this place was set up with the genocide, the slavery of the blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. All right, and Yahweh Shem Shai is not gonna let that slide. Okay, you got these so-called white people talking about that was years ago, get over it, right? And it got to the point where you even got Jake, regurgitating the same ish, man. They're over there regurgitating the same notion that, you can't have that victim mentality and this, but we are a victim. All right, look at what happened to us in history, man. All right, now granted, this devil, has opened up. I don't even want to say this devil, but you have certain ways to become rich in this society, but those ways aren't righteous, man. All right, you see Jake, that's successful, man. They don't they don't seek Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, look at these celebrities, man. And then they use their wealth that they have gotten unrighteously to try to make Jake believe that that he's in his rest, if you will, that he is no longer in captivity, that if he works hard, right, that he's gonna make it, he's gonna be successful. Little does he know there's a glass ceiling. Little does he know that in order to be successful in this place, you have to be hand joined in hand with the wickedness of this place, because there's nothing but heathens at the top, man. All right, it's nothing but heathens at the top, and they have it, and they have them demons to where they have it out for the children of not the children of Israel, but they have it out, for righteousness. Okay, verse 7, and it reads, How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Right, and that's the attitude that this place has. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. All right, and for strong is Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, our power, who judges her. So that's what we're beginning to see, man. The beginning of Babylon's judgment. All right, this inflation, that war. All right, and if you see how the first two world wars started, man, it always started with some some country that was tripping, right? It took over another country, and then as the ball kept on rolling, more countries got involved until Babylon got involved, and then it was a lot of deaths, and the war played out, right? Well, the same thing is happening now. Okay, you have Russia that's taking over the Ukraine, right? And then guess what? You got all these NATO countries that's against that, right? You have a supposed ceasefire that they were talking about yesterday, and it failed. Let me see if I can pull up the article right here. All right, Putin says Ukraine's future is in doubt as ceasefires collapse. So that means that they're no longer in a ceasefire. Look how long this was uploaded, 29 minutes ago. Okay, because Yahweh Shemi Hawashai is playing is playing out. Basically, he's having this play out. Okay, he has basically switched on the or if you will press play, on the major prophecies that's gonna hit this place, man. All right, and then we're gonna continue on going. All right, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her, because of that Western culture, right, and then the trading and all that, right, shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, because these other nations, all right, they all in on it, pursuing the Psalms chapter 83, they're all in on it. All right, they have profited off the destruction of our people, and they have profited off Babylon, that was the key executioner, if you will, of the destruction of our people. All right, through the so-called white man. All right, oppressing us. So continue on going, and it reads, and shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. And that's going into the ICBM missiles that's going to hit this place when this place is concluded. Okay, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city, Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. Okay, and that's going into the ICBM missiles destroying this place within that 1 hour. All right, but let's go into another precept. I have one in mind. All right, the book of 2 Peter chapter 3, verse let me see. No, it's not that one. Let me just look it up real quick. I'll save this for later. I might do a lesson on that. Though it tarry. Okay, that's Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3. All right. So like I thought it was in 2 Peter's. I mean, it's kind of similar. All right. So the book of Habakkuk chapter 2, I'm going to start at verse 2, and it reads, and Yahweh Shai answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon the tables, that he may run that readeth it. And where's the vision written in? The scriptures, man, the Bible. All right, not no Quran, not no book of Enoch, whatever these worldly jakes is out here with. Right, not no they got them little tablets, some weird philosophies that they got out there. Right, it's not written with them Buddhists. It's written here in the scriptures, man, in the Bible. All right, and it reads, write the vision and make it plain upon the tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. All right, and that's the thing. Basically, what happened? Okay, that's basically what played out. In front of our eyes. Here it is. We were years, right, prophesying. We had family members talk about, oh, when I was 8 years old, when I was 10 years old, they were telling us the same thing, and nothing happened. Right. And still to this day, you know what I'm saying? We got family members telling us the same thing. Friends, you know what I'm saying? Whatever, people in the world. Right. Talking about some, it's not going to happen. It's going to happen, maybe in 1,000 years from now, but not anytime soon. Right. These are people that don't want to leave this place because they're happier with the wickedness. All right. Let me read this again, though. It says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time. And guess what? We are in that appointed time. All right, look what is going on. Look at the prophecies that are kicking off. Look at the fact that the MOTB is on the horizon. That one world currency. They're talking about that, man. Okay, that's what is going to be experienced in our lifetimes, in the near future, I might add. All right, so it reads, but at the end it shall speak right? And we are at the end, all right, pursuing the second Ezra chapter 6 and 9. You know, we're in this devil's rulership, Esau's rulership, okay? And we're at the end of it at that. All right, see, we already went through slavery. We already went through that oppression, you know, the Jim Crow laws, the segregations, you know, things of that nature, you know, just the glass ceilings, you know what I'm saying? And being in this kingdom, right? Being oppressed in this kingdom with all these agendas and all these devices that have been put in place against us. All right, we are at the end of all that. All right, and you see it. It's clear. You know, you have these nations that are gravitating more towards Jake than they are with Esau, Edom, man. So continuing on in the reads, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it. Okay, so you know it was a time when, you know, we were prophesying about this for years. You know, starting with the elders and apostles of great Muslim. Look at them. They've been doing this for decades, right? But it reads because it's like though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. All right. And when it comes, it will not tarry. Meaning that once this ball gets rolling, all right, it's not gonna stop, man. It's not gonna stop. All right. And that's what we're witnessing. The ball is now rolling. All right, verse 4. Behold, the soul. Oh, now that's going into something else. It's going into Esau, Edom, you know, in his pride. All right. But hey, man, that's the times that we're in. Okay, so we're going to go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 55, verse 11. Close out with that. All right, so Isaiah chapter 55, verse 11, and it reads, so shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. All right, because ultimately all these things written in the scriptures, all right, all the prophecies is coming to pass. That's why it is written in the book of Isaiah. I'm talking not Isaiah, the book of Revelations, chapter 19 and 10. All right, it says, and I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said unto me, see thou do it not, I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren. All right, it's the angel speaking, that have the testimony of Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. Worship Yahweh, for the testimony of Hamashiach Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy. And that's why, you know what I'm saying, this is, it's like, what was I going into? You know, that's why, you know, the scriptures say that, because this is the prophecies that are written in the scriptures that's coming to pass. All right, plugging into Isaiah 55 and 11. That's one of the main important things in the scriptures, is to have that prophecy. All right, and these other camps, they don't go into prophecy, man. ISUPK, they want to buy some territory, you know what I'm saying, and have everybody live there, you know, forever, basically. You know, you have IUIC, they were talking about, you know, they were talking about, you know, that there isn't gonna be a Jacob's trouble, man. You know, and then they double backed on that statement, but they did it in a wicked, you know, offensive way, man. You know, so that's what you see with these other camps. All right, so with that, I'm gonna say, call Allah Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Rechah Kodash. Forgive me the spirit to do this lesson. Lord willing, it was edifying. All right, with that, I'm gonna say shalom. On to the next.